evening and welcome in to Franklin Field in Milwaukee, where tonight it is game one of an East Division series as the Kane County Cougars take on the Milwaukee Milkmen in a rematch of a series from back in 2023. So the defending champs back in the postseason. Connor Kling and Colin Rudisil here with you. And Colin, really excited to get this one going. Obviously, both of these teams under 500 in the regular season, but found a way in, the number 3 and 4 seeds, and both playing really good baseball right now. The Cougars won 7 of their last 10 in Milwaukee. The hottest team in the league, they won 13 of their last 17 games.
Yeah, they made a couple of moves that some people maybe thought they were kind of on the outside looking in when it comes to the postseason. And at the end of the day, they just scrapped their way through and made it right at the last second. That's a dangerous scenario for the Cougars. But Kane County coming off of 3 straight wins in that series against the Dogs. And they have Connor Ash on the mound, who has been nothing short of spectacular this season.
Ash has been arguably the best pitcher in the American Association in 2025. That award for the best starting pitcher ended up going to Jake Dykoff, but nothing for Connor Ash to hang his head about. A 10-3 record, a 2.76 ERA. He was just phenomenal. But interestingly, Colin, on the other side, these teams matched up 9 times in the second half of the season. The Cougars will take on Juan Diaz, a starting pitcher that they did not see this year.
Yeah, which is kind of interesting, right? That these are the aces for both teams in the playoffs, and yet it's been months since we've seen Connor Ash face off against the Milkmen, and then as you mentioned, they've never faced Diaz being the Cougars. So it makes for some interesting matchups, maybe some light innings going forward, at least in the first couple, just to get that feeling out process. And it's probably going to be a low-scoring affair, and I think we were kind of talking about on the way here. Maybe first to 3, first to 4 might be the one who walks away winning this game.
Could be pretty low-scoring. You can see on your screen now on aabaseball.tv the playoff bracket in 2025. The winner of this series will take on the winner of the Chicago Dogs and the Lake Country Dockhounds. The Dockhounds, the number 1 seed, ended up choosing Chicago. A little bit of a surprise to see the 1 pick 2, but I think it was based on the way that the Cougars and the Milkmen finished the season.
Yeah, they both, as we mentioned, were coming in hot. Also, Lake Country has played Chicago decently well overall this year. Struggled a little bit near the end, but it felt like that was probably going to be their decision anyway, and just another reason that makes this league kind of interesting, that it doesn't just go off seeding, that the 1 seed gets to play whoever they feel most comfortable going against.
So it is Juan Diaz getting ready to go, originally from the Dominican Republic. 6 foot, 185 pounds, 27 years old. An LS2, previously was in the Marlins, Nationals, and Toronto Blue Jays organizations before coming over to the Milkmen last year, pitched with Charleston in the Atlantic League. The lineup for George Samus in Game 1 of the postseason. Trendon Craig will be leading it off, no surprise, in center field. Josh Allen batting second. The second baseman, Marcus Chu, hitting third. The first baseman, Todd Lott, the designated hitter in the cleanup spot. Blake Rutherford, the left fielder, will bat fifth. Armand Upshaw hitting sixth in right field. Claudio Final at third base batting seventh. Nick D'Alessandro at catcher hitting eighth. And Zane Spinn, the rookie, rounding out the order at shortstop. He has to be fired up to get a start here in the postseason.
Absolutely, and he has earned it. He has just been turning things on here late. We've been seeing that power start to flash a little bit from Zane, and he's been really patient at the plate as well, working on getting on walks, singles, and just being a big contributor in this offense, whether it's at the top of the order or in the bottom.
And he will step in. We're just about ready for playoff baseball to get underway here from Franklin, Wisconsin. A crisp night, fall feeling here on September 3rd. Here is the first pitch to Trendon Craig, and he takes a ball outside, 1-0, as we get underway here at 6:32 in Milwaukee. A little bouncer. This could be trouble near the mound. Diaz, underhanded throw. It's high, but in time for out number 1.
That was an impressive play by Diaz. I mean, respect from him for Trendon Craig's speed, because he knew he had to get that out quickly to have a chance, but little off-balance throw put it right on the money to Lester.
So here is Josh Allen. Veteran for the Cougars. First pitch misses upstairs. Josh had the biggest hit for the Cougars in Game 1 of the postseason last year against the Lake Country Dockhounds. It was a 3-run homer to straightaway center field. Looking to make a similar impact here tonight. Grounds this one sharply. It's straight at the shortstop, Delvin Perez, over to first. And a couple of quick outs for Juan Diaz and the Milkmen.
Stepping into the box, number 17, Marcus Chu.
So that'll bring up Marcus Chu. Finished his regular season hitting at .267, 15 home runs, 70 RBIs. First pitch misses high and away.
It can't be understated how big of an addition Marcus Chu has been to this team. But with that being said, they're looking for his bat to pick up here early in the postseason. A few strikeouts and a little bit of struggle over the last 4 games.
That one low and inside. And Colin, you'll have to get used to hearing Franklin, or for Milwaukee, the music a little bit between pitches. I like the atmosphere here at Franklin Field.
It's definitely different. First road game for me, calling Cougars games. A lot of fun.
Marcus Chu crushes it down the left field line. Sanford, though, is there and makes the catch. Just a line drive off the bat. Well hit. And that'll do it for the top of the first. We'll go to the bottom of the first. No score here from Franklin Field in Milwaukee.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
And it's out of here! Dives and makes the catch! Swing and a miss, he got him!
Safe at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over!
Turn up, let's go!
Welcome back here to Franklin Field in Milwaukee. No score. Cougars and Milkmen, game 1 of this East Division Series. Connor Ash getting ready to take the mound. And Colin, no surprise at all that George Samus went with his ace to start game 1 of this East Division Series.
Absolutely not. I mean, he's the guy you want up when it comes to a big game, especially to set the tone in a 3-game series. Game 1 is so pivotal. We've seen Connor Ash just look stupendous this year. And it's funny, I mean, the only thing maybe you could look at is at home. Connor Ash is 7-0 with a 2.45 ERA, but I think it's worth it to risk it here on the road. 3-3 with still a 3.32 ERA. He's been excellent on the road as well.
Did not pitch here at Franklin Field. The one time he faced the Milkmen, it was at Northwestern Medicine Field back in the month of May. And he will square off with Alec Olin to lead it off for the Milwaukee Milkmen. First pitch is in for a strike. Your umpires tonight, Tim Montoya behind home plate. Jordan Sandberg is over at first. And Tom Swoboda at third. That one cracked into right field. Upshaw on the run towards the line, reaches up, and he's able to make the play. Nice catch.
Really nice track down there by Armand. Just right off the crack of the bat, was on the move, and that was a long track into the right field corner. The wind doesn't help either. It's blowing in that direction, but Armand's got all that speed and just made a great play on it.
So a quick out for Connor Ash. And Parker Lester steps in. Left-handed hitting first baseman for the Milkmen takes a first pitch upstairs. And fans crack open a cold one that's as smooth as a perfect pitch. Carbolus is ready to be your MVP this baseball season. 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 100 calories, and all the flavor. That pitch misses down low there from Connor. Ash out of Plainfield, Illinois, not too far from Kane County. just to the south in Will County. Little tapper foul off the bat of Lester. Parker Lester, a part of this new young core for the Milwaukee Milkmen, just 22 years old. It's a really interesting story of the season for Milwaukee. That one's in for a strike. They were struggling for most of the year, still finished the season 10 games under 500, but to win 13 of their last 17 with a number of rookies, different players than they had on the opening day roster, it's really one of the stories of the year around the league. So here's the pitch from Ash, a little bit outside.
Yeah, and I think some people just thought they were waving the white flag, but clearly there was a bigger plan in place, and they've worked themselves in, and there's a reason why Lake Country didn't want to pick this team.
3-2. Just high, ball 4. So Lester aboard with 1 out. First walk issued by Ash.
We don't see that very often from Connor Ash. Only 30 walks on the season going into today. And most times, only issues about 1, maybe 2 a game.
Here's Chase Estep. Really big year for him as he fouls that one straight back. Estep hit .307, 9 home runs, 54 RBIs. He's one of the players that's a holdover, and we know they traded Eric Osberg, lost players like Jalen Davis, Mike Rodolfo. But Estep has been with the Milkmen multiple years, and he's been a very productive bat in the middle part of that order. A little bit of a cloudy night here in Franklin. Did have some rain earlier today. Thankfully, everything cleared up in time, as that one is high and away. So Ash falling behind here. 2-1 to Chase Estep. Decent lead over at first for Lester. Swing and a miss. Nice fastball there from Ash.
Really nice. Reared back on that one and just blew it right past Estep. And it really sets up an interesting pitch now for Connor Ash to try to get Estep out of here.
Pickoff attempt over at first, a little bit low, but picked well there by Marcus Chu. So a 2-2 count to Chase Estep, the Milwaukee second baseman. Lined into left center. That drops down for a hit. Cut off there by Rutherford. Lester puts on the brakes at second. So now 2 base runners aboard for Milwaukee with just 1 out.
Well, Estep's batting .307 on the year. That does lead this Milwaukee team. That was his 120th hit of the year. First, obviously, here in the postseason. So he knows how to move the line in that 2-hole, or 3-hole, I suppose.
Here is Andy Blake. Cleanup hitter for the Milkmen at third base for Anthony Barone's squad. Former Ivy League Player of the Year at Columbia University. The rest of the lineup for the Milkmen following Blake: Caden Hollows batting 5th at catcher, Joe Gray, the center fielder, hitting 6th, Mitchell Sanford, the left fielder, batting 7th, Baron Ratcliffe, the DH, will bat 8th, and Delvin Perez, the shortstop, rounds out the order for Milwaukee. As Blake fouls that one away right side. Andy Blake has got some good pop in the bat, 13 home runs, 42 RBIs in the regular season. He's previously a member of the Los Angeles Angels organization, or joining the Milkmen this year. That one just misses. Another look at the bracket in the Miles Wolf Cup playoffs. Cougars and Milkmen Dockhounds and Dogs, Explorers and Canaries, Monarchs and Redhawks all going tonight. As that's in for a strike on the outer half. Nice pitch from Ash. Connor has thrown 17 pitches in this first inning. Looking to get out of trouble here. Would be nice if he can get a ball on the ground. 2-2 pitch. Out of the zone, it's a full count.
Yeah, a little uncharacteristic that we've seen from Connor Ash so far this year. Kind of working a lot of full counts, a lot of long counts.
Here's the payoff pitch. Fouled away. Milkmen continue to make Ash work. Last time Connor Ash faced Milwaukee was May 18th. And a look back towards second. A little bit of gamesmanship there. Andy Blake showing bunt after Ash stepped off the rubber. But a big 3-2 pitch coming in the early stages of this ball game. Here it is. Fouled back again. Blake continues to battle.
Well, and it gets frustrating for Ash because you keep trying to find that put-out pitch. And he's gone to a lot of the arsenal, and he just really hasn't found it yet. And it's a dangerous situation with runners at first and second. You don't want to lose Blake to a walk and load the bases.
Popped up, right field side. Upshaw on the run, and he makes the catch in foul territory. Lester tags up from second. He scoots into third. But Ash will take that second out in a long battle with Andy Blake.
Yeah, absolutely. If the worst thing that happens at that at-bat is just you move a runner over to third but still get the 2 outs, that's a win for Connor Ash and the Cougars.
So here is Caden Howell. Milwaukee catcher hitting at .277, 2 home runs, 15 RBIs in the regular season. And the first pitch a little bit outside. Howell, 24 years old, originally from Nampa, Idaho. Was in the San Diego Padres organization. That's in for a strike. It's been an uncharacteristically lengthy first inning for Connor Ash in the regular season. In 19 starts, Ash only allowed 3 first inning runs. He's trying to put up a 0 here in the bottom of the first. Inside.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever thrown this many pitches in the first inning either. Already at 24.
On to the count, 2-1. It's been a patient approach from the Milkmen. That one bounced to first. Marcus Chu is there. He'll take it to the bag himself. So it was a long inning for Connor Ash, but ultimately he puts up a 0 in the bottom of the first. We'll go
The best of the best
to the
under the
second at
lights.
Franklin
You
Field.
can tell that this isn't just your average game.
game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Welcome back to Franklin Field. Top of the second inning. No score between the Cougars and the Milkmen. But Colin, the Milkmen really threatened in that bottom of the first. 2 runners reaching against Connor Ash. They made him work quite a bit, but ultimately he was able to get out of it.
Yeah, and that's what's important at the end of the day. So hopefully Ash, if it's any sort of, playoff jitters or whatever it might be, you get it out and you go out unscathed. I think the best thing that can happen now for the Cougars is to help him out offensively, maybe start to build a lead or at least something promising here to show that they're ready to strike back.
Good part of the order to do it. 4, 5, and 6, beginning with Todd Lott, who I'd argue, Colin, in the regular season, the Cougars' offensive MVP. Marcus Chu has a case for that as well, but Todd Lott being with the Cougars for the entire season. And we saw early in the year this team was a little bit sluggish offensively, but Lott was the one hitter who seemed to come through time and time again. First pitch from Diaz, in for a strike to Lott.
Yeah, he was a regular season All-Star, was also named now a postseason All-Star in the American Association. He tied the Cougars record for doubles in the American Association. He had a great season.
31 two-baggers. Also had a home run in the series the last time the Cougars played here at Franklin Field. Lott with a bouncer towards short. Handled there by Perez to first. 1 down. That brings up Blake Rutherford, one of the more recent additions to the Cougars, added in the month of August. Blake played in 8 games with the Cougars to end the regular season, hit .333, 3 doubles with a home run, 3 RBIs. Was able to add a little bit of pop for this lineup down the stretch, Colin.
Yeah, big boost. And, we talked about it from opening day roster to now, just having a big, powerful bat on the left-hand side for the Cougars. And Rutherford is potentially the bat that they've been looking for.
Chase that one out of the zone, 0-2. See, the Cougars having to make an adjustment to Juan Diaz, first time that they've seen him. Was really surprising. We talked about that at the beginning of the broadcast. Just, you had Connor Ash not face the Milkmen since May, as that one's foul. And then Juan Diaz, who's pitched a lot of innings for Milwaukee, 87, but none of them came against the Cougars.
It's weird how that happens.
Really strange, especially with 9 games here at Franklin Field in the second half. 0-2, a little bit outside.
Well, and again, it might take a little bit of an adjustment for the Cougars to see Diaz through at least one time. And same true on the other side. It's been a while since the Milkmen have seen Ash.
1-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. Diaz picks up his first strikeout. And that is 5 up, 5 down for the Milwaukee left-hander.
Yeah, he's looked really good. 15 pitches and already threw an inning and 2/3, and he really mixed up Blake Rutherford there on that off-speed pitch. He had him eating on an off-speed pitch earlier in that at-bat as well.
Here's Armand Upshaw, third-year Cougar, hit .268 in the regular season, 5 home runs, 36 RBIs, and set one of those single-season records, 38 stolen bases. That final series against the Chicago Dogs, picked up 2 steals back-to-back. He tied it and then broke the record that was held by Anthony Seymour from the 2021 season.
Happy Armand was able to go out there and get that record. He certainly deserved it this year.
And Upshaw shoots it on the ground. That's a fair ball down the left field line. Upshaw motoring around first, heading for second, and he's in there with a 2-out double, the first hit of the night for the Cougars.
Third baseman number 4, Claudio Final.
That's some picture-perfect stuff from Armand right down the third base side into left field. Blake tried to lay out for it, couldn't get to it. Really good job, though, by Sanford to get that in, because I think Armand was probably thinking he might have a 3-bagger in mind.
Yeah, get into that corner, it could be a little bit of trouble, especially with the speed that we talked about of Upshaw. Here's Claudio Final. And a balk. Upshaw awarded third base.
Take it.
A mistake there from Diaz, so now the Cougars have the go-ahead run 90 feet away. First pitch to Final on the inner half for a strike. That fastball in there, 0-2.
Claudio's batting just a $186 against Milwaukee, but he does have 2 doubles and 5 RBIs.
See if he can come through with 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Final skies it foul, and that one heading out of play. So it remains an 0-2 count to Final. High fly ball into right field. Alec Oland ranges over, and he makes the catch. So the Cougars do threaten with the Upshaw double and then the balk, but they are held scoreless. Still no score here in Milwaukee as we head to the bottom of the second inning from Franklin Field.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Welcome back here to Franklin Field. No score between the Cougars and Milkmen. Game 1 of this East Division series. Each team with 1 hit thus far. We saw the Milkmen threaten in the bottom of the first. They had runners at the corners. The Cougars get a runner at third in the top of the second, but still scoreless. And Colin, we're expecting a lot of tight ball games in this series.
Yeah, absolutely, and especially between these two pitchers and the lack of history, I guess, between the teams and the pitchers, this is probably going to be a tight game here in Game 1.
Joe Gray will lead it off for Milwaukee. Bottom of the second inning. 6, 7, and 8 due up for the Milkmen against Connor Ash, who's looking for some efficiency here in the bottom of the second, and he gets a whiff on the first pitch. Joe Gray, 25 years old, out of Hattiesburg, Mississippi, a former second-round pick of the Milwaukee Brewers. Little half swing there, and he went around on the appeal to Jordan Sandberg, our first base umpire tonight.
Much better stuff here early from Connor Ash, and you see him get into that rhythm when he's right back on the rubber and ready to throw again.
0-2 upstairs. Gray laying off that high pitch. Gray started this season with the Lake Country Dockhounds. Spent 2024 in the Atlantic League. Had reached as high as Double-A, the Royals organization. As that one is shot, but there is Final with a diving snag over to first. What a play. Claudio Final robbing Joe Gray of what would have at least been a double.
Yeah, that was a lot like the shot we saw from Armand Upshaw And Claudio just able to range over and catch that missile. Luckily, it didn't go through his glove. And just a strong upper body turning and making that throw across the diamond. Really nice from Claudio.
Brings up Mitchell Sanford. Rookie rolls it on the ground. Played on a hop there by Marcus Chu. He'll take it to the bag quickly for out number 2.
Yeah, I think that word quickly is key after that first inning from Connor Ash. Now at 30 pitches, so if he can get another quick out here, he's right back on schedule.
If he can stay under that 35 range, then that would be a good sign for Ash going forward. As here's Barron Radcliffe. Cougars put the shift on defensively to the right side. First pitch misses inside. Josh Allen playing well out into right field. Zane Spinn, the shortstop, to the right side of second base. That one just missed. Radcliffe started the year with the Gary South Shore Railcats. Big swing and a miss. He is a home run hitter, 14 home runs between his time in Milwaukee and with Gary South Shore. What a .210 average. As that's in for a strike, 2-2. There is some swing and miss, but if he does make contact, it can definitely go a long way. Two from Ash. Swing and a miss. He got him. Strike 3. Connor Ash picks up his first strikeout and a 1-2-3 inning for the Cougars ace. We'll head to the third here from Franklin Field. Still no score between the Cougars and Milkmen in Game 1 of this East Division Series.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Deep at the plate.
Did they do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Welcome back to Franklin Field. Game 1 of this East Division Series, still scoreless. And Colin, we were just talking between innings. So far, this game is living up somewhat to what we expected.
Yeah, just the pitcher's duel and these two kind of behemoths going at it. And it's kind of fun to watch, but I'm very curious to see what's going to happen the next time through. We've obviously got 8-9-1 here due up for the Cougars. I think these middle innings are going to be really telling for both teams.
You mentioned it might be the team that scores first in this game that ultimately wins. We know both teams have lockdown bullpens. The Cougars were 33-17 in the regular season when they scored first. Milwaukee 27-24. So both teams with winning records when they scored first, but the Cougars much better. I think that's a big credit to that bullpen led by Logan Nissen, Jake Gozo, as Nick D'Alessandro fouls off the first pitch from Juan Diaz.
Yeah, and who knows what the plan is for George Samus, but just in a perfect hypothetical world where fatigue isn't a thing, having, Connor Ash starting, followed by Logan Nissen, Casey Crosby, Jake Gozo, I mean, that is a recipe for success on the pitching side of things for the Cougars.
That's really a three-headed monster at the back end of that bullpen. Those three have been extremely effective after the Cougars have had to deal with the loss of Tyler Beardsley due to injury. And Daniel B's due to injury as well. It was expected to be a big contributor. Here's the pitch to D'Alessandro. He shoots it the other way into right field, a base hit. Good to see Nick D'Alessandro start off his postseason with a base hit, and he ended the regular season on an 8-game hit streak, Colin.
Yes, he did. He is swinging a hot bat right now. We've been waiting to see it from Nick D'Alessandro. In that last little stretch, 10 for 28 during that 8-game hit streak. 357 average, drove in 4 runs. He has been a hot bat at the bottom part of the order.
Perfect timing. Heading right into the playoffs, Zane spin, shows bunt, and fouled it off himself for strike 1.
Well, this is probably a credit to what we were just talking to, Connor, kind of the small ball starting to come out for the Cougars, because pushing across a run at this game at any point is going to be huge.
Well, the Cougars know well from 2024. It doesn't take 8 or 9 runs to win a postseason game. As that one's inside. You'd love to score 8 or 9 runs, but that was the recipe last season. Low-scoring, tight ball games, and the Cougars ended up finishing 7-0 in the postseason.
Yeah, just finding ways to get it done. And, you know, the Cougars have not been swinging the hottest bats necessarily here at the end of the season. So if you can do the little things like laying down bunts and sacrifices, that goes a long way to winning baseball games.
And spin called for a strike there, 1-2, so the bunt likely off now with 2 strikes. Zane, the rookie out of Lamar University, started the year with the Cleburne Railroaders, played just a few games down there. Cougars picked him up, and what an addition he's been, but a swing and a miss there. Spin down on strikes. That's the 2nd strikeout tonight for Diaz.
Yeah, Diaz has proven to be a really crafty lefty. It just kind of looks like everything out of his hand is coming out the same way, and it's a tough go for Zane missing on the 2 bunts because he never really got a chance to see Diaz in that at-bat, and he threw a breaking ball right by him.
Back to the top of the order, Trendon Craig. He grounded out to Diaz to start the ball game, and TC fouls it over near the Cougars' dugout, first base side. Two teams met up in the postseason back in 2023. Cougars won the first game here at Franklin Field, but that was a little bit of an odd series. The Milkmen had home field advantage, but gave it up due to an event here at Franklin Field. So the final 2 games were at Northwestern Medicine Field, and Milwaukee took both.
It's funny how that works. You lose home field advantage, and it actually works out better for you.
They won on the road. It was a little bit surprising after a dominant win by the Cougars in Game 1 as Trendon Craig lifts it into center field, sinking, but the catch made by Joe Gray for out number 2.
Yeah, that's tough for TC because if he would have put that a little bit to the left or to the right, it probably falls down for a base hit. And especially with Deli's speed, you never know. Could be runners at the corners if it lands right.
Brings up Josh Allen. He grounded out to shortstop his first time up. D'Alessandro with a decent lead over at first. He's got good speed, especially for a catcher. I think it's fair to say the fastest catcher in the American Association.
I think so.
This year, Nick was 6 for 6 in stolen base attempts, but he had more than 20 last year when he was with the Chicago Dogs. Wave and a miss there from Allen.
Well, we haven't seen it much in the second half of the year, but it's also just valuable what he can do as an outfielder even when Oscar Santos and even before that when Trip Clark and Hayden Dunhurst were on the team. It really opened it up to play 2 or 3 catchers for the Cougars.
That one low and inside to Josh. Allen has played for the Cougars every year that they've been in the American Association. It was only for 1 series in 2022. Then played all of 2021, 23, 24, now 25. High bouncer towards third, but it's foul. It has not been the year that Allen was hoping for at the plate. Hitting at 246. He still ended the year with a 360 on base percentage, so that eye always showing up. As Allen drives it fairly deep to center. Gray drifting back, though, and makes the catch for out number 3. So Diaz works around that leadoff single by Nick D'Alessandro. We'll head to the bottom of the third from Franklin Field. Still no score between the Cougars and Milkmen in Game 1 of this East Division Series.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Welcome back to Franklin Field. Bottom of the third inning, still scoreless in Game 1 of this East Division Series. The American Association playoffs getting started tonight, and every game is scoreless except for one right now, the Sioux City Explorers with a 3-0 lead over the Sioux Falls Canaries. That game over at the Birdcage in the West Division. As Delvin Perez will lead it off for Milwaukee, 9-1-2 due up here for the Milkmen. Against Connor Ash, who had a much easier time in the bottom of the second than he did in the first. That's in for a strike. Perez, a former first-round pick by the St. Louis Cardinals in 2016. And he skies this to center. There is Trendon Craig making the catch.
Well, fans, there's more ways to follow your team and watch American Association games all season long. AABaseball.tv is available on select Gray Media television stations and networks, Unbeaten Sports Network, Rise Sports, and AABaseball.tv. 600 regular season games along with the entire postseason, ending with the Wolf Cup Finals, and all for free. Go to AABaseball.tv or check your local listings.
Here's Alec Olin, top of the order for the Milkmen. First pitch is in for a strike from Ash. Well, this is a great time to check out AABaseball.tv with the postseason going on. All 4 series getting underway, the best time of the year in the AAPB, as this is popped up by Olin to the right side of the infield. Josh Allen will make the catch. Once again, 2 quick outs for Connor Ash.
Very efficient work. Sitting under 40 pitches here in the bottom of the third inning. He has really started to string it together here, retiring 7 straight now.
Good to see Connor get into a rhythm. After a difficult first inning, Parker Lester up to the plate now, takes a first pitch strike. And this is what we saw all season long from Connor Ash, Colin, is just his ability that when he gets comfortable, he starts working quickly. The second he gets that baseball back, he's ready to go once again. And Lester tried to check it up. He went around 0-2.
You know, I've said this a few times this year, but not many live to tell the tale, being down 0-2 against Connor Ash. He is just crafty and an artist when it comes to striking people out, and 0-2 count specifically.
Only one strikeout so far tonight, looking for another one to end the bottom of the third. Lester just stays alive. He worked a walk his first time up. There's a bouncer towards first, but foul. Well, Connor Ash came up just short of being named American Association Starter of the Year. Jake Dykoff picking up that award for the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks. Dykoff did have a lower ERA. Close battle there as Lester fouls it away. I was talking to manager George Samus about that before the game, and he said, yeah, it felt like both guys were really deserving. Was hoping for Connor Ash, but Dykoff also certainly deserved the award. Another 0-2 on the way. That's low and away.
It was a tight race, and one that probably could have went either way. But I think that's good for the league as a whole, to just kind of have those powerhouses.
There's been some great pitchers in the league this year, Connor Ash being one of them, as that misses low and away. Ash last season pitched in Double-A for the Philadelphia Phillies. Had an ERA in the threes, a lot of success at the Double-A level. So here's another two-strike pitch, and that's inside. It runs to a full count. Parker Lester again doing a really nice job working the count against Ash. Three-two. Bounced in, and Lester walks again.
Yeah, that's really impressive. I mean, that does not happen very often with Connor Ash when he gets ahead. And Parker Lester, I mean, he has a decent amount of walks at 25, but nowhere near the top of this team as far as patience when it comes to walks. But he's doing a nice job against Connor Ash so far.
25 in 38 games, though. Pretty impressive number there.
That is true.
Chase Estep fouls it back.
Yeah, when you get the sample size in, it's a different story.
And that's the story for a lot of these Milwaukee Milkmen. Second half additions. This is a completely different team than the one that came to Northwestern Medicine Field in May. And the Cougars saw it in the month of August. The Milkmen won 2 out of 3 from the Cougars as this one is bounced towards the shift. Josh Allen backhands, throws to first. What a play! Chase Estep retired. Josh Allen throwing from in right field to get the out and end the inning. So Ash works around that walk. We are still scoreless from Franklin Field as we go to the top of the 4th inning in game 1 of this series between the Cougars and the Milkmen.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here! Dives and makes the catch! Swing and a miss, he got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Deep at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over!
Turn up. Let's go. Let's go.
Top of the fourth inning at Franklin Field. No score between the Cougars and the Milkmen. Game one of the East Division Series. Cougars with 2 hits, Milwaukee with just 1. And Colin, we expected a pitcher's duel. So far, it's lived up to that hype.
Yeah, both these guys have really impressed. Connor Ash, maybe a little bit of a waiver at the start, but he has started to find it. You're looking again at the playoff brackets. And a little update, too, on the East Division side. The Chicago Dogs have taken an early 2-0 lead here in the bottom of the second, now top of the third.
Well, we saw last year the Dogs use that as motivation against the Claiborne Railroaders. The Railroaders selected them, and the Dogs, after losing game 1 at Impact Field last year, won the final 2 down in Claiborne. Marcus Chu will lead it off in the top of the fourth and gets a small piece of that one on the first pitch from Juan Diaz. The 2 hits for the Cougars thus far, a double by Armand Upshaw and a single from Nick D'Alessandro. As Chu with a broken bat flare into right. That is down for a base hit. Third hit of the ball game for the Cougars, so for a second straight inning, the leadoff man is aboard.
Yeah, and that's promising stuff when you're getting the leadoff man aboard. And that's a good shot by Marcus Chu, too. Looked like he was pushing the ball in that direction, even despite the broken bat. But getting him aboard and seeing him swinging a good bat tonight is promising.
Here is Todd Lott as you hear the wind picking up a little bit at Franklin Field, blowing from left to right. As Lott lines it into left, that drops down for a hit. Back-to-back singles for the Cougars. And they're in business, 2 base runners aboard with nobody out.
To be honest, I think Diaz is lucky that was only a single. He left that right over the plate, and Lott turned on it. I think just got a little bit on top of the ball, but a great spot to just put it right in front of left field. First and second, nobody out.
And now Caden Hollow, the catcher, out meeting with Diaz. Tim Montoya, the home plate umpire, checking on that meeting as well as Blake Rutherford steps in. First and second, nobody out. A good opportunity for the Cougars to strike first. Rutherford struck out his first time up. First pitch on the way, shows bunt, lays it down foul.
Yeah, kind of interesting, despite back-to-back singles, still going with the small ball approach, and it makes sense. I mean, to get runners at second and third with Armand coming up, who just smacked a double earlier, be a nice setup for the Cougars.
0-1, Rutherford that time not squaring around, takes down low. Well, runs are going to come at a premium in this game, at least it seems in the early going. A little bit of a crisp, cool night here in Franklin. Temperatures in the low 60s. With that breeze picking up a little bit more now. There's a little tapper foul, 1-2.
So you got to be careful if you're Blake now, down 1-2. I'm just going to take a guess Diaz is going to go off speed here. That's what he got with Rutherford the first time up.
1-2 pitch. He does go with an off-speed pitch, but it's in the dirt, 2-2. Blake not chasing that one out in front of the plate. It's Marcus Chu at second, Todd Lott at first. Cougars looking to score first. Game 1 of the postseason. 2-2 pitch. Rutherford pops it up into right. Alec Oland tracking it, and he makes the catch. Chu stays put at second. So with those back-to-back singles, the Cougars now out-hitting the Milkmen 4-1. And we'll see if they'll be able to scratch one across. Once again, Tim Montoya is out chatting with Diaz. He did have a balk earlier in this game. So I'm curious if there's something he's doing with his glove or in his setup that Montoya wants to bring attention to.
Well, if that is the case, I do like when umpires do that instead of just issuing the box over and over again. At least let him know what he's doing wrong so it could be course corrected.
Here's Armand Upshaw. First pitch to him is bounced towards short, handled there by Perez. Flips to second for one, over to first, a double play. So Juan Diaz, after giving up back-to-back singles, works out of the jam with a pop out and then a 6-4-3 double play. We're still scoreless from Franklin Field. The bottom of the fourth inning is coming your way right after this.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Bottom of the fourth inning at Franklin Field. Still scoreless as it'll be 4, 5, and 6 due up for the Milwaukee Milkmen against Connor Ash, who's done some good work through 3 innings, Colin. We saw the trouble in the first. Since then, the only issue was another walk to Parker Lester.
Yeah, and I mean, he's been seeing the ball really well, credit to him, but you mentioned it, Connor Ash has really started to settle into this game. I think one thing that's interesting, though, 1 strikeout through 3 innings. So maybe in the middle part of this order for the Milkmen, Ash can start to raise that number up a little bit.
Oh, we saw Connor rack up the strikeouts in the regular season, setting the Cougars single-season record in the American Association as the first pitch to Andy Blake misses out of the zone. I've got a feeling, though, he's not too concerned about picking up the numbers in a postseason game. It's all about just getting the outs.
Oh, yeah.
As Blake lifts this one in the air, deep right center field. Upshaw going back, and that ball is gone. Andy Blake with a solo shot to right center, and just like that, the Milwaukee Milkmen take a 1-0 lead.
One mistake by Ash, just leaving that one in a spot where Blake could drive it, and he certainly did. Wind might have helped him out a little bit too, kind of blowing left to right, but a little bit out into right field. 1 run is pretty big in this game, so for Ash, just trying to keep the damage here at just 1 and get the Cougars back in the 5th.
But the good news, of course, being just a solo shot.
Right.
Rather have that happen with nobody aboard, but Andy Blake continuing to show the power that he did in the regular season when he hit 13 home runs as Caden Hollow pops up the first pitch. This one just off the edge of the infield, and Josh Allen makes the catch for the first out.
And that was just the second hit of the game allowed by Connor Ash, so it's unfortunate that that was the result from it, because really he has pitched really well through the first 3 innings of this game.
Here is Joe Gray. Grounded out to third his last time. He was robbed by Claudio Final. Probably the best defensive play we've seen tonight, Colin.
It's very good. I'd say that Josh Allen kind of Jeter-esque throw behind second was pretty good too, but
a lot of good defense tonight from the Cougars as that's in for a strike. Quickly 0-2 to Gray.
Well, as a general statement, they've been a pretty strong defensive team all year. And, I mean, Andy Armstrong, who's not out there today, but the reigning Defensive Player of the Year now.
As that one gets inside, hits Gray. So he's aboard with one out.
And they actually have the former Defensive Player of the Year in Marcus Chu over at first. So very strong on defense for the
And
Cougars.
we saw the incredible plays that Chu made over at first base all year long. Here's Mitchell Sanford. Grounded out to first his first time up. Middle of the infield at double play depth. Connor Ash hoping to get a ball on the ground here as the first pitch misses inside to Sanford. Sanford, a rookie, finished up his college career at Ole Miss. A long and winding road through college baseball, 24 years old. As that one is bounced towards first, Chu will apply the tag. Well, he's out of the baseline, so he's out anyway. Sanford trying to play some games there as Gray does move over to second on the play.
I don't think Sanford meant to do it, but if he was going to do a juke move, it was the perfect time because Chu was looking at second base and not really looking where he was tagging.
Well, he only had a couple of options. Mitchell Sanford, it was either go out of the baseline or run back towards the plate.
Oh, a little Javier Baez style.
Otherwise, he was running right into Marcus Chu's glove. Here's Barron Radcliffe. He is the lone strikeout victim tonight for Connor Ash. Strikeout coming back in the second inning, but Connor looking to keep this a one-run ball game with Joe Gray in scoring position at second. That one outside, 2-0. That was the 60th pitch of the night for Ash. As that one chopped towards first, Marcus Chu has it. A slow trot to the bag for out number 3, but the Milwaukee Milkmen do strike first. An opposite field solo homer by Andy Blake to lead off the inning. It's 1-0 Milwaukee as we head to the 5th from Franklin Field.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back to Wisconsin. Cougars trailing the Milwaukee Milkmen 1-0. It'll be 7, 8, and 9 due up against Juan Diaz. And Colin, we'll see if the Cougars can respond here.
Yeah, they're going to have to. And the good news is they have gotten leadoff singles in back-to-back innings. They've started to string together some hits. It's the second time through facing Diaz, so hopefully the success is around the corner for the Cougars.
So Claudio Final to get things started, flying out to right field his first time up. Cougars still out hitting Milwaukee 4-2, and they have had their chances. 3 left on base so far in this game for the Cougars. Another quick glance at the bracket there in the Miles Wolf Cup playoffs as that's in for a strike to Final. Scores in the other games still the same. The Chicago Dogs lead Lake Country 2-0. Sioux City ahead on Sioux Falls 3-0. As a big cut and a miss there from Final. I think that might have gotten a piece there of Caden Hollow. Tim Montoya giving him some extra time, tossing that baseball out to Diaz. Or maybe I'm wondering if Claudio's bat got a piece of Hollow on that backswing. Oh, 2. High and away.
Cool of Claudio, too, still wearing those baby blue batting gloves from his gender reveal that was done a few games ago at the last series against the Dogs. Baby boy for Claudio and his wife, Danielle.
Very exciting news for the Final family, and Final launches that one deep left field. Sanford back at the wall. Goodbye. Claudio Final ties it up with a solo shot of his own. We're even at 1 in the top of the 5th.
Just what the doctor ordered for the Cougars. And a great blast by Claudio Final. And I mean, just tit for tat. A leadoff home run in the bottom of the 4th by Andy Blake. And then here in the top of the 5th, a leadoff home run for Claudio Final.
Number 6, Nick D'Alessandro.
Brand new ball game. 1-1. Here's Nick D'Alessandro. He singled his first time up. Went the opposite way. Takes the first pitch out of the zone. Final just 4 home runs in the regular season. We saw a little bit more of the pop last year. But he homers here in the postseason. He hit a big home run in the postseason last year in the East Division Championship Series against the Chicago Dogs in Game 1. And D'Alessandro smokes it right back up the middle. His second hit of the night, and he's fired up. Takes a big turnaround first, but he'll head back to the bag.
Yeah, Nick D'Alessandro plays with so much passion and his heart on his sleeve. It's so much fun to watch him as a catcher, and even more so fun to watch him when he's swinging a hot bat. 2 singles off of Juan Diaz, and that's a tall ask, at least at this point in the game for the Cougars.
Here's Zane Spinn. The Cougars now out-hitting Milwaukee 6-2. Spinn struck out his first time up. Shows bunt, pulls it back, and takes ball 1. Well, you can see just from that reaction from Nick D'Alessandro and the voices in the Cougar dugout how much this game and another postseason run means to this team. Spin squares around, pulls back. Oh, they say he kept it around, so that is strike 1. Tim Montoya on the call there. That's a tricky one there with it. Just where that pitch was located. I don't think Zane was quite able to get it back in time. One pitch. Spin gets it down right out in front of the plate. Hollow throws to second, and they do get the force out. So the sacrifice not successful there.
Yeah, tough luck. I mean, this one went right back up the middle as opposed to down the left or right field line, or I should say first and third base line. And just a nice play by Hollow, understanding that he had the time to throw it down there and get the lead runner.
Back to the top of the order, Trendon Craig 0 for 2 tonight. Grounded out back to the pitcher in the first, flight out to center field in the third, and a pickoff attempt. Spin is back. Zane was 4 for 5 in stolen base attempts in the regular season. Does have good speed. As Craig takes a strike at the knees. Some action down in the bullpen for the Milwaukee Milkmen. That is Brady Puckett.
How could you miss him?
Yeah, 6'9". Great size for Milwaukee as Craig fouls it away. Puckett frequently used out of the bullpen by Milwaukee, 41 appearances. But I'd imagine Anthony Barone wants Juan Diaz to at least get through this 5th inning. Pitch count is not too high for Diaz. Trendon Craig stepping back in, down to the count 0-2. Spin with a decent lead off of first base. Pickoff attempt. Oh, it gets away. Underhanded throw. That one bouncing around. Now Spin heading around second base. He is into third. And an errant throw. A huge break for the Cougars. Gets 2 extra bases for Zane Spin.
Yeah, that is huge. I mean, especially with only 1 out. And this is a great job, too, by David Holmberg, the pitching coach / third base coach for the Cougars, because Zane Spin was going around second. Instead of having to look back over his shoulder to see where the ball is, he looked at David, and Holmberg was waving him in to get him into third base. So just good communication from coach and player.
So now the Milkmen bring the infield in with the go-ahead run, 90 feet away for the Cougars. It is still an 0-2 count to Trendon Craig after that errant pickoff attempt. And Craig goes the opposite way down the right field line, but that is foul.
It's a good idea from TC, though. If he's able to land that one down the line, not only does Spin score, it'd probably still be a runner at third base with 1 out.
0-2 once again. Outside. So 1-2 the count to the Cougars leadoff hitter. Craig watches that one outside. Trendon led the Cougars with 117 hits in the regular season, came up just short of tying the single season record for the Cougars. And he takes that one upstairs. Full count.
Good at bat here by TC, and you can see Juan Diaz getting visibly frustrated trying to figure out how to put down Trendon Craig.
Pitch count is at 63 for Diaz. Now the payoff. Swing and a miss. Third strikeout for Juan Diaz. And it was a good battle from Trendon Craig, just trying to protect there with 2 strikes, but looked like that one may have been slightly out of the zone.
Yeah, he got him out and swinging on a pitch that certainly was outside of the zone, but big strikeout for Juan Diaz to get it to 2 outs now.
Here is Josh Allen 0 for 2 tonight. Zane Spin over at third, and Josh on the ground. That's through into center field. Josh Allen gives the Cougars the lead 2-1. Spin comes in to score as the Cougars have put up 2 here in the top of the 5th.
Well, what an answer for the Cougars here in the top of the 5th inning. See the big fly go through, and it could have been defeating, but Connor Ash locks down, gets the Cougars out of it. Bottom of the order really comes in big. Finau changes the momentum completely with a big swing, and then Josh Allen there in the clutch with 2 outs.
Marcus Chu, now Allen's running, pitches high, throw to second, and they got him. Caden Hollow throws out Allen at second, but the Cougars take the lead. A solo homer from Claudio Finau, and then an RBI single from Josh Allen. It's 2-1 Cougars. We're halfway home from Franklin Field in Milwaukee.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Bottom of the fifth inning at Franklin Field, 9-1-2 due up for the Milwaukee Milkmen against Connor Ash, and his teammates picked him up in the top of the fifth inning. 2 runs for the Cougars. The solo shot from Final, and then an RBI single from Josh Allen. So once again, Colin, after last year, Allen had a 3-run homer in game 1. He comes through with a go-ahead RBI single here tonight.
Some really clutch hitting from Josh Allen.
You can stay up to date on the 2025 American Association playoffs by following the league's social media channels and by downloading the AA Baseball app by logging on to aabaseball.com. First pitch strike tossed into Delvin Perez from Connor Ash. And Perez with a broken bat blooper into center field, a base hit.
Well, we kind of touched on it the second time around for these lineups to see the pitchers, and it's been a different result from both sides. For Ash, he's working with the lead for the first time in this game. He gives up a leadoff single. He just needs to either find a double play ball here at the top, but limit the damage, keep this lead at 2-1.
Third hit of the night for Milwaukee, as here's Alec Oland 0 for 2. He lays down a bunt. Ash, his only play is to first, and he makes the play for the out.
Yeah, you said it's the only play he could do, and luckily Ash handled it well and made a nice throw over there. The Milkmen, though, do move that tying run over to second, 1 out.
Parker Lester, 2 walks. And we've seen him really battle up there at the plate. He was down 0-2 the last time and then worked 4 straight balls from Ash. And he takes ball 1 here.
Well, Connor Ash now is at 65 pitches, and it feels like Parker Lester's responsible for about 40 of them.
He has been very patient up there. And now Nick D'Alessandro going out to chat with Connor Ash. That's been one of the fun stories of the year for the Cougars, the battery between Ash and D'Alessandro. D'Alessandro essentially has been Ash's personal catcher, both coming from the same area around Joliet and Plainfield. Nick D'Alessandro went to Joliet Catholic High School. If he had gone to public school, he would have gone to Plainfield South with Connor Ash. As that one a little bit high, 2-0. And it's funny, I talked to Nick D'Alessandro during the season. Said when they were growing up, there was maybe a little bit of a rivalry there, but as they've come through professional baseball, become very close friends, and especially here this season with the Cougars. 2-0 pitch fouled away off the bat of Lester.
It certainly felt like they've had that relationship, not just as friends, but on the mound in the battery where, you know, it's a 2-1 count. Connor Ash knows what he wants to throw, and Nick D'Alessandro knows what he wants to throw. It doesn't even seem like the signs are necessary between these two.
They work so well together. They have shown that throughout this 2025 season. That one down low. So once again, Lester heading the count here, 3-1. Ash has only issued 2 walks tonight. Both have come to Parker Lester. He's looking to avoid walking him a third time. Three-one pitch. Popped up. Shallow center, long run there for Craig, but he comes in and makes the play. So finally, Ash able to retire Lester.
It was another long at bat, but at the end of the day, you'll take out number 2 there if you're Connor Ash. And a great fight back. We've had some dramatic changes in the Lake Country Chicago game. Lake Country tacked on 5 in the top of the third. Chicago tacked on 5 in the bottom of the third, so 7-5 now in that game.
That's a much different game than here.
Oh, yeah.
Here is Chase Estep, 1 for 2 tonight. And, of course, the winner of that series will take on the winner of this series. The Lake Country Dockhounds, the #1 seed in the East Division. They won the regular season title with a record 10 games above 500, despite a late season slide when they lost 9 in a row. The Milwaukee Milkmen played a part in that, sweeping the Dockhounds, and that really sparked the run for the Milkmen. As that foul away, 0-2 to Easta.
Well, we've kind of touched on it before, but it's been a very interesting close to the season, especially in the East Division, because there was a homestand there, Connor, where we thought kind of everything was set in stone, and then, you know, the Cougars had an away stand for a while. They came back, and everything was different.
A lot of changes in the final month in the East, as here's the 0-2 pitch. Broken bat, but Ash still snares it and flips to first. What a play. Avoiding the shard of lumber there, Connor Ash through danger gets the final out, and the Cougars stay in front as we head to the 6th inning. Connor Ash working around that single to lead it off. Going to the 6th, the 2-1 lead for the Cougars in Franklin.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Top of the 6th inning at Franklin Field. Brady Puckett, a new pitcher into the ball game for the Milwaukee Milkmen. 6'9", 30 years old, out of Murfreesboro, Tennessee. Pitched in 41 games for the Milkmen this year, 47 innings of work for Puckett. And he finished up with a 4.02 ERA, 63 strikeouts, 25 walks in those 47 innings of work. He'll face 3, 4, and 5 for the Cougars, beginning with Marcus Chu. He was at the plate when Josh Allen was caught stealing to end the top of the 5th inning. First pitch to Chu, lofted into right field towards the line. Oland on the run in foul territory. Did he get there against the wall?
I think he did. That was a great catch.
What a play. Long run there for Olin, and thank you for the assist there, Colin.
Yeah.
A little blocked our view here at Franklin Field with the corner.
Yeah, he snagged it right before going right into the fence. It was kind of bang of it going into his glove and then his glove hitting the fence.
No, he didn't catch it.
He didn't catch
He
it.
did not. No, I thought I saw Jordan Sandberg. I didn't know if you had seen an out signal, but I saw Sandberg raise up the foul ball, but wasn't quite sure because it's a tough angle. But thankfully for Marcus Chu, it was not an out.
Well, I wonder if it went – it looked like he caught it, and then I wonder if he went into the fence and it came out.
He maybe just sold it really well.
That's true.
He
He
had
had me
us
fooled.
fooled. Yeah. No,
Todd Lott had me fooled, too, because he
Todd
was
Lott
walking
was
up.
walking to the plate, so I think Todd thought he caught it too. So I don't feel as bad. Chu with a swing and a miss there.
Yeah, great acting job out there by Alec Olin.
1-2 the count to Marcus. Arguably the best trade in the 2025 season. The Cougars picking up Marcus Chu from the Fargo-Moorhead Redhawks for a player to be named later, back in early June, as Marcus takes down low. And in the month of July, Colin, there was no hitter better in the league than Marcus Chu.
He was on fire. I mean, carried a long hit streak. Seemed like he was picking up extra base hits and RBIs left and right. He's a fun player to watch.
Tried to check his swing, but he went around for strike 3, so Chu is retired. Puckett strikes out the first man he faces. There's one away in the top of the 6th.
I had to do my best to make my F7 look like a K.
Well, it would have been F9 anyway.
Yeah, you're right. I think I was in the middle of drawing it when we...
So it goes down as a forward-facing K, swinging strikeout there. Marcus Chu as Todd Lott takes low and away. Todd is 1 for 2 tonight, singled his last time up. Infield playing pretty much straight up. We saw Lott was crushing balls during batting practice. And he floats that one foul out of play. Colin, you pointed out on the single that he had was maybe a little bit lucky for Juan Diaz that it was a low line drive. It was a pitch that he left up, and we've seen Lott hammer those before.
Oh, yeah. And I got a feeling if he gets another one of those from Puckett or anybody else, they won't have the same luck that Diaz had.
Fouls that one back. 1-2 the count to Todd.
And it's funny saying that when, like, a single is a success. Todd did what he needed to do with that pitch, but we know what he's capable of, as you're saying, especially that power. When he gets a hold of one, I mean, you hear the crack of the bat and the ball goes a long way.
1-2 pitch. Upstairs as Lott checks up his swing, holds off on a high pitch from Puckett. Seems like they're mixing moves into poker face there. That's interesting here at Franklin Field. 2-2. Lott stays alive. Never know what you're going to hear with the Milkmen, but a fun atmosphere here for Game 1 of the East Division Series.
I wonder if this playlist is on Spotify somewhere.
Swing and a foul tip into the glove for strike 3. So Puckett with a second straight strikeout. Fifth strikeout for Milkmen pitching tonight. And that brings up Blake Rutherford. Trying to keep this top of the 6th alive. Blake 0 for 2 tonight. Former first-round pick of the New York Yankees. Reached the major leagues with the Washington Nationals. A foul tip there for strike 1. Blake came over after spending most of his season with the Kansas City Monarchs. There's a swing and a miss. 0-2 to Rutherford as Puckett is 1 strike away from striking out this side. See if Blake can choke up and find a 2-strike hit. Here's the pitch. Outside. Rutherford pops it up foul out of play. Heading over near the golf facility here.
I wonder how many points he scored on that.
Well, Colin, I know it's your first time up here in Franklin, but a really cool facility. I mean, they've got a ski slope, the golf area, and a lot of baseball fields. As Rutherford hits it sharply, but played on a hop there by Delvin Perez over to first in time. And Brady Puckett comes on to relieve Juan Diaz, tosses a 1-2-3 inning with a couple of strikeouts in the top of the 6th. But the Cougars still lead 2-1. We'll head to the bottom of the 6th. You're watching Game 1 of the East Division Series on AABaseball.tv.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Deep at the plate.
Did they do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go. Let's go.
Bottom of the sixth inning at Franklin Field in Wisconsin. Cougars lead the Milkmen 2-1 game one of this East Division series. Connor Ash back out there for the bottom of the sixth. And Colin, so far it's been vintage Connor Ash, although not as much with the strikeouts. Still only just one strikeout, but he's been relying on his defense, and they have made plays for him.
Absolutely. And I think this game for him so far, as far as mistakes, is really just the Andy Blake home run. I mean, the walks to Parker Lester, but at the end of the day, it wasn't like those were egregious pitches from Ash. Lester just had a great at-bat in both of those. But he has really done a nice job of hunkering down and not giving up the big momentum runs and just keeping the score at one run. That is some good work from Connor Ash.
He will face Andy Blake to lead off the bottom of the sixth. Blake, who drove in that lone run for the Milkmen, an opposite field solo homer, which started the fourth inning. Oh, 1 pitch. Just missed the zone.
And Connor Ash is such a gamer, too, such a competitor. You know he is trying to get Andy Blake and get that second strikeout of the game right here.
He wants to win the matchup this time, no question about it. And that one low and in, 2-1. Blake was 0 for 2 against Ash in the regular season meeting, but that was all the way back in May, as that's lined into left field, a base hit. Cut off there by Rutherford. Blake takes a big turn. He'll stay put at first with a single to lead off the bottom of the sixth. So Andy Blake now with 2 of the 4 hits for the Milwaukee Milkmen.
He's got the recipe, apparently. Yeah, that was a hard hit ball right into shallow left field. A good job, though, by Blake Rutherford to cut it down and keep Andy Blake at just a single on that one.
Brings up Caden Hollow. Claudio Final playing well in at third base, expecting a bunt. That's a first pitch strike from Ash. Hollow is 0 for 2 tonight. Another tight ball game between the Cougars and Milkmen. The last time the Cougars were here at Franklin Field, it was 3 consecutive one-run games. As that one lined into left, another single for Milwaukee. And they've got 2 base runners aboard with nobody out here in the bottom of the sixth. Nobody loosening at the moment for the Cougars. So a critical hitter here, Joe Gray. See if Connor can get a ball on the ground, get a couple of quick outs. But wouldn't be surprised to see Gray lay down a bunt here. The Cougars are expecting that, and he does square around. Lays it down in front of the plate. D'Alessandro's only play is to first, so it is a successful sacrifice from Joe Gray.
Yeah, that's a great bunt. I mean, especially with D'Alessandro being a righty, which most catchers are, there was really no chance to spin and throw to third or second. And it's a nice job, too, by Allen to kind of scooch off the bag a little bit and make that play, because if that ball goes into right field, we got 2 runs coming in, and this is a completely different ball game.
It's all kinds of trouble. Here's Mitchell Sanford. He is 0 for 2 tonight. Cougars have the infield in, trying to hang on to this 1-run lead as the first pitch misses to Sanford. That's in there. 1-1 to Sanford, the rookie for Milwaukee. Blake at third, Hollow at second for the Milkmen. Connor Ash looking to hunker down, keep the Cougars in front. Little tapper foul and a critical second strike. We said the strikeouts haven't been there as much for Ash tonight as usual, but this is a moment where he could definitely use one, Colin.
Absolutely. I mean, you get 2 outs in this situation. It is a completely different situation.
Have to be careful as well, though, about a pitch in the turf with a 1-2 count with a runner at third. Here's the pitch. High and inside.
And Connor could afford that pitch, being a little high and inside, because it does set up a lot of different options here. In a 2-2 count, you still have a pitch to play with. See if he goes to that splitter.
2-2. He got him. Strike 3, a strikeout exactly when Connor Ash needed it for a massive second out.
Yeah, I don't think he could have picked a better time to pick up strikeout number 2. And now with 2 outs, all you got to do is keep Aaron Radcliffe not finding a hole or a gap to drive in these 2 runs. Force this last out and go in with that 2-1 lead to the top of the 7th.
Radcliffe is 0 for 2 tonight. First pitch. Swing and a miss. D'Alessandro blocked it well. A little bit down low there. Oh, 1 pitch. Bounced in, but D'Alessandro blocked it well. And I think that goes into that relationship between them as well. D'Alessandro knows what pitch is coming. Okay, this one could be in the dirt. He's ready to block it. One pitch. In there for a strike on the outside corner. So Connor Ash with a chance to end this 6th inning still in front. Can he pick up a second straight strikeout? We've seen him get strikeouts in spots like this all year. 1-2 pitch. Just high, and you could see Connor jumping a little bit. Thought he might have had it, but just a little bit high.
And we're right back in the same situation that Mitchell Sanford was in. See if Ash goes to that same pitch low.
2-2. In the dirt. He did. Radcliffe laid off. That one a little bit just lower. It was a bouncer. So it's now a full count to Baron Radcliffe. Runners at second and third. Cougars hanging on to a 2-1 lead in the bottom of the 6th inning. The payoff pitch. On the ground, up the middle, and the play made by Zane Spin over to first in time. What a job by Connor Ash getting in and out of trouble. And we'll head to the 7th inning from Franklin Field. The Cougars still in front in this one, 2-1 over the Milkmen.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Think with the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn it up. Let's go. Let's go.
Top of the seventh inning in Game 1 of this East Division Series. Colin, we expected a low-scoring game. We expected a tight game, and so far that's exactly what we've got here in Franklin.
Yeah, it's just been the pitching locking down with just a couple of home runs, and then, of course, that big error, which I think the mistakes is definitely something that's going to come back and maybe be the factor as well. Zane Spinn going first to third, and then Josh Allen coming up clutch to get that go-ahead run and keep the Cougars at 2-1. And what a job by Connor Ash and the defense for the Cougars to get out of that last inning.
New pitcher into the ball game for the Milwaukee Milkmen is Matt Gibbon. Another quick look at the bracket in the Miles Wolf Cup playoffs. The winner of this series will take on the winner of the Lake Country Dockhounds and the Chicago Dogs. Chicago still leading in that game 7-5 as Armand Upshaw will lead it off here in the top of the seventh inning, and he swings at the first pitch, goes into right field, a base hit. Second hit of the night for Armand.
And a good guy to have on first base for the Cougars. As you mentioned earlier, broke the stolen base record for the Cougars since joining the American Association. We know what he is capable of with his speed. We'll see if he tries to get one here in Game 1 of the playoffs.
38 steals in the regular season. The Milkmen and Matt Gibbon certainly well aware of the speed Upshaw has. Got a pretty sizable lead over at first and a pickoff attempt. He's back. Given in his first year with Milwaukee, a 3.42 ERA, 52 2/3 innings pitched, 56 strikeouts, 14 walks. 28 games, which includes 6 starts this year, but coming in a big bullpen spot here for Milwaukee, Colin.
Yeah, and I mean, it's a dangerous spot already. Claudio Final at the plate. He's already homered in this one to really swing the momentum back to the Cougars. And you mentioned Armand got that big lead. My guess is at some point he's going to take off during this at-bat.
Upshaw stretches out the lead. Here's the pitch to Final. Squares around, lays it down, third base side. This is a good one. Blake bare hands to first, just in time to get Final. But a little bit of small ball. We talked about it earlier, Colin. The Cougars, nobody in this lineup is too big or afraid to lay down a bunt. And Claudio Final, after homering earlier in the game, moves Armand Upshaw up to second base.
Yeah, this is something the Cougars practice every single day before they go in and do their BP. Everybody's laying down bunts in different directions, so everybody's equipped to do it. And I think that was a great time to lay one down. You mentioned it. He hit a home run his last time up, so surely he's going to be swinging. And instead, he almost sneaks one down the left field line or third base side. And he just missed, half a step.
Looking around at the playoff bracket and some of our scores here tonight. Dogs lead the Dockhounds 7-5. That game in the top of the fifth inning at Impact Field. Sioux City ahead on Sioux Falls 3-0. That game in the bottom of the sixth inning at the Birdcage. And still no score between Kansas City and Fargo-Moorhead. That game in the bottom of the sixth out in Fargo. Here is Nick D'Alessandro With Armand Upshaw at second, D'Alessandro 2 for 2 with a couple of singles. Takes outside from Given. Another one outside. You can just tell D'Alessandro is seeing the ball so much better at the plate.
It's night and day, and I mean, there were times where you could just see it where it's such a mentality thing. He would go up there and just not look confident, but that flip or the switch flipped in his head at some point, and now he is just seeing the ball so well.
And Upshaw gets back to second. Good read there by the Cougars.
And he told me after his breakout game, he hit that home run at Chicago, and he just said, I'm back. And he was really feeling himself at the dish.
He has been back, no question about it. That one in there for a strike. If you include the regular season, a 9-game hit streak for Nick. Of course, the stats reset for the playoffs, but coming into the postseason hot, that's exactly where you want D'Alessandro, and he has kept it rolling in game one. 2-1 pitch. Big cut and a miss.
Well, he tried to double the run output right there on that one. Almost swing out of his shoes, but that's what you want to see if you get a pitch that looks good. I mean, if that's the one you think you can drive out, especially with a 2-1 count, take the hack.
So now 2-2 with one away. Here in this top of the 7th inning. Here's the pitch. Kelly stays alive as he fouls that one sharply out of play to the right side.
Well, to really just take a ball in the outfield for D'Alessandro, because Upshaw's got all that speed. It doesn't really matter where it lands. He could probably score from second.
2-2. Swing and a miss. Given gets D'Alessandro for the second out. So that leaves it up to Zane Spinn. Watching the game from the stands or your backyard, make it a home run with Carbless. Premium handcrafted cocktails, easy to grab, easy to sip, and perfect for every play. Here is Zane Spinn, the rookie. Takes a first pitch strike. He is 0 for 2 tonight, but scored a run in the 5th inning, reached on a fielder's choice, then got to third on the errant pickoff attempt by Juan Diaz. So he scored the go-ahead run in this game that has still held up since the top of the 5th. 0-1 pitch. Chops right near the Cougars dugout.
And Zane's been in a little bit of a slump at the plate, but despite that, he's managed 13 walks over his last 13 games, so he's still finding ways to be effective and getting himself on the base paths. And that's all you can ask for a guy who doesn't really have it at the plate at the moment.
See if he can come away with a 2-strike hit with Upshaw at second. Here's the pitch. Fouled back. Stays alive. We've mentioned it a few times, but throughout this year and his time with the Cougars, you've seen how the approach has improved for Zane Spinn, and he's adjusted to professional baseball so well, a big part of this team down the stretch. Here's the pitch. Spinn chops it right side. That's a foul ball. Long look in from Matt Given. And another 0-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. So Given works around that leadoff single. He strikes out the last 2 hitters of the top of the 7th. We're going to the stretch from Franklin Field. The Cougars with a 2-1 lead, looking to hold on here in Game 1 of the East Division Series. Keep it locked right here on AABaseball.tv.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate!
Did they do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Bottom of the 7th inning at Franklin Field. Connor Ash coming back out after some clutch work in the bottom of the 6th inning. Colin, he got into a tight jam, but worked his strike out of Mitchell Sanford and then got a ground out from Barron Radcliffe.
Yeah, so far he's done a really good job. He's had runners at third base, second base at different points in this game. He's just been able to work himself out of trouble. Outside of that home run, I mean, that is really the only mistake. He's given up 5 hits, 1 earned run to this point. Really, really solid outing. He's in line for a quality start. Obviously, we'll see what happens here in the 7th.
7 left on base for Milwaukee tonight. Just 1-1-2-3 inning for Ash. He'll face 9-1-2, beginning with Dalvin Perez, and he fouls back the first pitch. Pitch count is at 91 for Ash. As that's in the zone for a strike. Perez did not like it at all, but he's down 0-2.
That was a filthy little pitch there by Connor Ash. I mean, that started inside on Perez and just dipped back into the zone low.
0-2 pitch. Top of the order with Alec Oland awaiting on deck. So here's the 1-2. Perez flies it into center. Trendon Craig has a beat and makes the catch for out number 1.
Good start to the inning for the Cougars, and I think the plan at this point is to let Ash get these 7 innings and then go to that strong part of the bullpen. Casey Crosby, Jake Gozo for the close, and walk out of here in Milwaukee with a Game 1 win.
A lot of work to be done, and we've seen tight ball games between these two teams all season long. So here's Alec Oland, leadoff hitter for Milwaukee, fouls away the first pitch out of play. Well, we've seen Ash go deep into ball games throughout the regular season, but it is so critical in the postseason to get a start like this, especially to open a series. As here's a chopper to Final, handles it over to first, 2 away. Because the more you can save your bullpen, even though there is an off day tomorrow for travel, the more you can save your bullpen, the better.
Absolutely. And it's just like clockwork from Connor Ash. I mean, it's hard to go back to even any game this season and really point out, you know, that one wasn't very good. It's either just good or great from Connor Ash all season long going into this game.
He's ahead in the count on Parker Lester, 0-1.
Maybe one outing against Lake Country. That's about it.
And that's in a tough ballpark to pitch in. It's quickly 0-2. Ash just seems to be getting better as this game goes on. Pitch count is at 98, but he's got a chance for his first 1-2-3 innings since the second. Trying to get Lester here, who he did get to pop out, but has walked twice. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Low and away. Next pitch is number 100 on the night. Here it comes. Bounced in the dirt. So likely now that you have Ash over the century mark, probably his last hitter here, Parker Lester, trying to end the night on a high note. Here's the 2-2. Outside, a full count.
You've already seen this once from Parker Lester. He was down 0-2 in the third inning and worked his way back all the way to working a walk. So he has just been a patient hitter tonight.
3-2 pitch. High for ball four. That is the third time Lester has walked tonight. The only hitter to draw a walk against Ash for Milwaukee, but he's done it 3 times. And that likely is going to be the end of the night for Connor Ash. But what an outing from the Cougars aces. George Samus takes the baseball from him. 6 2/3 innings. He leaves with the lead 2-1 as the Cougars look to hang on here in Milwaukee. They'll turn it over to Casey Crosby in the bottom of the 7th with a 2-1 lead. We're going to step aside from Franklin Field. Casey Crosby stepping out on the mound after this.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn it up. Let's go. Let's go.
Welcome back to Franklin Field. Cougars lead 2-1. Casey Crosby stepping up to the mound after Connor Ash worked 6 2/3 innings. Allowed 5 hits, 2 strikeouts, 3 walks. He is responsible for Parker Lester over at first. But Casey Crosby on, looking to retire Chase Estep. First pitch, fouled back. Crosby in the regular season was outstanding, a 3.07 ERA, 55 strikeouts, 12 walks in 41 innings of work, 236 average against. The 36-year-old former major leaguer with the Detroit Tigers. Swing and a miss. Good fastball there from Casey.
He's about as lethal as they come in 1-2 innings of work when it comes to the left side. And he's only allowed 1 earned run in his last 16 appearances, and that's going back to July 20th. So he has just been dominant and a huge part of this bullpen.
Estep stepping out. That 0-2 count. Lester at first base. Crosby looking for the strikeout. Here's the pitch. Oh, man, I thought he had him. Just missed the zone. Could see D'Alessandro held it there for a moment, but it is 1-2. Crosby's ready. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Casey Crosby nails coming out of the pen as Estep tosses his bat into the turf. What a job by Casey Crosby. We'll go to the 8th. Cougars leading 2-1 in Game 1 of this East Division Series.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Top of the 8th inning at Franklin Field in Wisconsin. Cougars lead 2-1. Looking for a little bit of insurance here as Matt Given is on for his second inning of work for Milwaukee. What a job by Casey Crosby coming out of the pen at the bottom of the 7th.
It's just what he does. And I think what a call by George Samus, too, to bring him in the bottom of the 7th as opposed to waiting in the 8th. You get that lefty-lefty matchup and just lock down that inning. And it only took 4 pitches for Crosby. I'm sure we'll see him again in the 8th inning and set up that dominance that the Cougars have had in the back part of the bullpen.
Well, throughout this season, I've mentioned the 2024 Miles Wolf Cup playoffs. George Samus did a masterful job managing the bullpen. So far tonight with a really good move, inserting Casey Crosby there. Top of the order due up for the Cougars, beginning with Trendon Craig. Shows bunt, pulls back and takes a strike. TC 0 for 3 tonight. As the Cougars look for some insurance in this tight ball game. Mentioned a couple of times, the last time these two teams met up here at Franklin Field, it was 3 one-run ball games. But the Cougars would like some breathing room here.
I think that really speaks to both teams' pitching as well. And hopefully it's the Cougars, but whoever moves on to the next round, that's going to be super helpful going into the next round, seeing some of the best pitching in the league.
Pitching was absolutely a key for the Milkmen in that run they went on in the month of August. ERA under 4 for the month. As a staff, under 4. Impressive work from the Milkmen pitching staff in the final month of the regular season. As Given looks in. Now the 2-1. A little foul tip there from TC, 2-2. It'll be the heart of the order, 4, 5, and 6 due up for Milwaukee in the bottom of the 8th. Cougars looking to do some damage before that as that's outside. Three 2 pitch. Called strike 3, just at the letters. And Given picks up his 3rd strikeout of the night.
Now batting number 7, Josh Allen.
Here's Josh Allen. He has one of the 2 biggest hits of the night for the Cougars. First pitch and a cut and a miss. First big hit being that solo homer by Claudio Final. But later on in that same 5th inning, an RBI single from Allen that gave the Cougars this 2-1 lead. So both runs for Kane County coming in the top of the 5th as Josh turns away from that one.
Yeah, and that RBI single was set up because of an error on Milwaukee that got Zane Spinn all the way to 3rd. So that's really a key play in this game as well.
Allen fouls it away, 1-2. No surprise to see the Cougars locked in another tight postseason game. We saw that throughout the run to the Miles Wolf Cup championship last year. As that one misses upstairs. But throughout the season, manager George Samus, he often will text me and ask, what's our record in 1-run and 2-run games? Because he knows when you get to this point of the season, it's so important to execute in these close ball games. As there's a cut and a miss, Allen down on strikes. That is the 4th straight strikeout from Matt Gibbon. And there's 2 away in the top of the 8th.
If you want to talk about settling into a game, Matt Gibbon. He came in and gave up that single to Armand, the sacrifice bunt by Claudio, and then 4 straight strikeouts.
So here's Marcus Chu, 1 for 3 tonight, had a single in the 4th. And he goes the opposite way for his 2nd hit of the night. So the Cougars have a 2-out base runner, and that gives an opportunity for Todd Lott to step to the plate with 2 outs.
Second time Marcus Chu has poked one into right field as well tonight. I wonder if that's something he's kind of changing up with his swing, going through this slump, just trying to find different kinds of success, and he'll certainly take it. 2 for 4 night.
Well, we saw pretty frequently at the end of the regular season teams shifting, playing him as a pull hitter. If he can add that opposite field element, makes him really dangerous here in the postseason. Lott swings at the first pitch, fouls it away. Todd is 1 for 3 tonight.
Well, and he represents, he meaning Marcus Chu, a big run in this game as well. I mean, pushing across that 2-run lead goes a long way in a game like this.
Now we'll see if Lott can maybe get one into the corner. Marcus Chu could get all the way around from first. That one in for a strike. 0-2 the count. Gibbon continues to just get ahead. Two really good bullpens squaring off. After we saw 2 strong starting pitchers tonight with Juan Diaz and Connor Ash. And there is some more action down in that bullpen for the Milwaukee Milkmen. That is Denny Bentley. As Lott bounces it towards third, Blake across the diamond in time for out number 3. So the Cougars get a 2-out base runner, but it's another scoreless frame for Matt Gibbon. We go to the bottom of the 8th from Franklin Field. The Cougars ahead 2-1 here in game 1 of the postseason.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
miss, he got him.
Turn up, let's go.
Deep at the plate.
Did he do it? The game is over.
Turn up, let's go.
Bottom of the 8th inning in Game 1 of this East Division Series. The Cougars lead the Milwaukee Milkmen 2-1. Colin, you and I were just talking about it between innings. The Cougars have 9 hits tonight, so there have been some missed opportunities, but Milwaukee can say the same thing. They've left 8 runners on base.
Yeah, and I think, again, that just comes down to how well Connor Ash, and then on the flip side, Juan Diaz and Brady Puckett and Matt Given have pitched when they've gotten into any sort of trouble. They've just been able to kind of lay it down and leave it at that. Just one bad mistake or whatever it may be, and then follow that up with strikeouts, and other than that, letting the defense work behind them. Keep this a 2-1 game.
4, 5, and 6 due up for the Milkmen against Casey Crosby. Beginning with Andy Blake, first pitch strike in from Crosby. Casey struck out the first man he saw to end the bottom of the 7th inning. Chase Estep. Swing and a miss. Andy Blake drove in the only run of the night so far for Milwaukee, a solo homer that led off the bottom of the 4th. So Connor Ash's final line, he went 6 2/3, allowed 1 earned run on 5 hits, 3 walks, 2 strikeouts. 0-2 pitch. Missed, just barely. Crosby looking for a second straight strikeout.
He really just rifles that thing in there. It is so hard to do anything against it.
1-2. Swing and a miss. High fastball and a second straight strikeout for Casey Crosby. He's not your dad's CPA.
No, he's not.
Here is Caden Howell, 1 for 3 tonight. First pitch, swing and a miss. That heater is working tonight.
He's just been so lights out for 2 months. I mean,
in there, 0-2.
what are you supposed to do?
Dominant stuff so far.
Cooking it right over the outside corner. This is back-to-back batters now down 0-2 that need to take time against Casey Crosby. And he hasn't even really gone to the filthy stuff because he's got some nasty breaking balls too.
Hasn't needed it. The fastball has been located so well. 0-2 pitch. Went to a breaking ball there, fouled away left side, out of play. Casey Crosby returned to professional baseball this year after 5 years away from the game professionally. And he's been one of the best relievers in the league. Another 0-2. Swing and a miss. 3 straight strikeouts for Casey Crosby.
The man is absolutely dealing right now. That is 10 strikes to just 2 balls since he has appeared in this game. And it's funny just because when he first started with the Cougars, the location was a bit of an issue. We thought maybe, yeah, he can throw hard, but he can't hit his spots. That is gone now. He is nailing his spots tonight and has been for a while.
First pitch to Joe Gray just misses. Well, just had to shake off the rust.
Yeah, and he did.
5 years away from the game professionally, but he has settled in, and second half of the season, he has been absolutely lights out and gets a swing and a miss there. Casey looking to turn it over, likely to Jake Gozo, the Cougar closer. One more out to get here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Fouled away. Crosby can get another strikeout here. That would be 4 consecutive strikeouts Not easy to do at any point in the season, but especially in a playoff game with so much on the line. One-two pitch. Fouled away.
Well, he went breaking ball and then fastball, Connor. What do you think he's going to try to go with here on the 1-2?
Tough to say. I think he just goes with the heat.
That's what I'm thinking.
Upstairs. 1-2. Fastball got him. Strike three. Absolute dominance from Casey Crosby. 4 straight strikeouts. And we'll head to the 9th inning. The Cougars lead 2-1, and they're 3 outs away from a win in Game 1 of this East Division Series.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here. Dives and makes the catch. Swing and a miss. He got him.
Turn up. Let's go.
Deep at the plate.
Did they do it? The game is over.
Turn up. Let's go.
Top of the 9th inning at Franklin Field. The Cougars lead the Milkmen 2-1 in Game 1 of this East Division Series. And the new pitcher into the ball game for Milwaukee is their usual closer, Denny Bentley. Anthony Barone knows the importance of every game, trying to keep the Milkmen within a run. As we enter the 9th inning, Cougars have 5, 6, and 7 due up, beginning with Blake Rutherford. Bentley has been one of the best closers in the league. 2.49 ERA, 13 saves, 48 strikeouts, only 9 walks in 43 1/3, a 197 batting average against.
It's a very real possibility we're witnessing the 2 best left-handed relief pitchers in the league going back-to-back.
So here's a swing and a miss from Blake Rutherford. That's the fun thing about postseason baseball. It makes for a tough matchup for the Cougars here in the 9th, but you're seeing both teams throwing out their best out of the bullpen, trying to take this critical Game 1 as there's a wave and a miss from Rutherford.
That's what makes a 3-game series so interesting. I mean, Game 1 is really pivotal. That's not to say you can't win the next 2 games if you lose. I mean, against this team, the Cougars have seen it happen, but it really is a huge momentum boost if you can take Game 1, especially on the road if you're the Cougars.
0-2 to Rutherford and a swing and a miss. Bentley strikes out the first man he faces.
We have seen 5 straight strikeouts now. I guess that's not true, but
well, on both
4
sides,
straight.
between
Yeah,
Casey Crosby and somewhere in there
that's right.
with pitchers on either side. Milwaukee has pitched well in this game. Both teams a low-scoring affair. 3 total runs here in the top of the 9th inning. Here's Armand Upshaw, 2 for 3 tonight. Takes a first pitch strike.
I think 9 out of the last 10 outs, though, from both sides have been strikeouts. 1 ground out by Todd Lott.
Well, it's tough when you've got 2 of the best bullpens in the league, and they have definitely shown that here tonight. Bentley, in the regular season, pitched against the Cougars 5 times, had a 2.7 ERA. 5 strikeouts, 1 walk in 6 2/3. Cougars actually had more success against Bentley than his overall numbers for the season, but so far tonight, he is looking like his best self. One-two pitch. Upshaw bounces it right back up the middle. Third hit of the night for Armand Upshaw as he just smoked that one right back over the head of Bentley.
Good night for Armand Upshaw, which is great to see. The 10th hit of the night for the Cougars as well against some strong pitching from Milwaukee. We already mentioned this before. You get Armand's speed over there at first base. He represents a very big run in this game. Big insurance for the Cougars.
Have to be careful with the left-hander Bentley. He's going to be keeping a close eye on Upshaw as first pitch misses low and into Final. But that can be the effect of having Upshaw on the base pass. Even if Bentley doesn't necessarily throw over, Upshaw's in his head a little bit over there at first base. It's the first time we've really seen Bentley miss his spot badly. 1-0 pitch, that's upstairs, 2-0.
And you got to like this if you're the Cougars. 6 of the 10 hits have come from the 6, 7, 8, 9 hitters. The home run from Claudio Final. Both runs scored from the bottom 4 hitters as well.
2-0 pitch. Final shoots it on the ground to third. Blake to second for one. Over to first. A double play. 5-4-3. That'll end the inning. Denny Bentley gets out of it after allowing a 1-out single. So we'll head to the bottom of the 9th where the Cougars are 3 outs away from taking game 1 of this series. Jake Gozo to come on in the bottom of the 9th.
The best of the best under the lights.
You can tell that this isn't just your average game.
Let's go.
And it's out of here! Dives and makes the catch! Swing and a miss, he got him.
Turn it up. Let's go.
Safe at the plate!
Did he do it? The game is over!
Turn it up. Let's go.
Bottom of the 9th inning in game 1 of the East Division Series. Jake Gozo, the Cougar closer, coming on, trying to hold on to this 1-run lead. Dominant work by Casey Crosby out of the bullpen, coming on in the bottom of the 7th inning. 4 straight strikeouts. Jake Gozo looking to keep that rolling against the bottom of the order for the Milkmen.
He's been doing it all year long. 18 saves this season for Jake Gozo. That is the single-season American Association record for the Cougars. 13 straight outings without allowing a run. He has been nothing short of dominant.
51 strikeouts, 20 walks in 45 innings, a 183 batting average against. And Mitchell Sanford, the first man to face him. It's a first pitch strike. Now, Jake Gozo had 2 saves against the Milkmen in the regular season, but they were able to get to him just a little bit. Gozo allowed 5 runs, 3 of them earned, which included a walk-off home run here at Franklin Field. So Jake tonight looking to exercise some demons and close out game 1 of this East Division Series. Gozo in his second year with the Cougars was a big part of last year's team down the stretch, but has stepped into that closer's role magnificently after the injury to Tyler Beardsley early in the year. 1-2 pitch. High and away.
Yeah, it's amazing how fortunate the Cougars are that Gozo was game for that. And Beardsley was such a big part of this team last season and had, aspirations to be a big part this year. But to have Gozo be as dominant as he's been.
2-2, swing and a miss, strike three. That is now the fifth straight strikeout for Cougars relievers. And a good start to this bottom of the ninth for Jake Gozo.
I guess they just had to pick up some of the lack of strikeouts from Connor Ash that we usually see. Because now combined, we're talking 7 strikeouts in the game, and you mentioned it, 5 straight between Crosby and Gozo.
Here's Barron Radcliffe. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Cougars have the shift on. Fly ball down the left field line. Rutherford giving chase, and that goes foul out of play.
Glad that kept on shifting. That was looking like trouble for a second. An easy double for Barron Radcliffe if that stays fair.
Jake Gozo, a former position player way back in the day before his sister Morgan convinced him to give pitching a shot. And this year, an East Division All-Star, one of the best closers in the American Association. 1-1 pitch. A little bit upstairs there to Radcliffe. High and inside, 3-1. Have to be careful with Radcliffe. He's got a lot of power. Delvin Perez awaits on deck. That's in for a strike. Radcliffe didn't like it, but it was in there.
Yeah, that was a really nice pitch, too, because you mentioned it. You don't want to just give him a cookie and try to get back and even this or get to a full count. Gozo mixed it up a little bit and put it in a perfect spot.
Three-two pitch. Popped up foul. The Cougars hanging on to a 1-run lead. All 3 runs in this game came in the 4th and 5th innings. Milwaukee with 1 in the bottom of the 4th. The Cougars with 2 in the top of the 5th. Another 3-2. Swing and a miss. And the Cougars are 1 out away from taking game 1.
Six straight strikeouts now between Casey Crosby and Jake Gozo. We talked about them being dominant. This is about as dominant as we have ever seen them. But there's still work to be done. 1 more out to clinch this first game.
Delvin Perez, the last hope for the Milwaukee Milkmen. He's 1 for 3 tonight. First pitch, foul back. The Cougars looking for an 8th consecutive postseason win dating back to last year. That's in for a strike. 0-2. And Jake Gozo with a chance to strike out the side. And for the Cougars to end this game with 7 consecutive punch-outs. 0-2. Swing and a miss. And the Cougars win 2-1. Lights out pitching from Casey Crosby and Jake Gozo lead the Cougars to a 2-1 win. An unbelievable run to end this game. 7 straight strikeouts.
That's absolutely unreal. I mean, again, we have just seen the dominance all season from the setup man and the closer, but 7 straight strikeouts in this kind of a game. That is some amazing work, all set up from pitching from Connor Ash as well. What a Game 1 victory for the Cougars.
And the Cougars celebrating down on the field. That is a fired-up team. Don't want to take away any credit as well from Connor Ash, who earns the win tonight, going 6 2/3. We said he didn't necessarily have his best stuff, not the usual strikeout stuff from Ash, but he allows just 1 run on 5 hits and goes deep into this ball game. 6 2/3, absolutely huge for the Cougars ace when he didn't have his best stuff to gut it out and pitch deep into this ball game.
Yeah, I think that's just Cougars baseball in a nutshell, that George Samus tries to set up with his pitching and everything you'd want from Connor Ash. I mean, you mentioned it wasn't his normal outings. We see a lot of strikeouts, but he was still able to force a ton of outs with the defense behind him, and they made some great plays. Claudio Final with a great play down the third base line, Josh Allen behind second base, even Zane Spinn, if that goes into the outfield, 2-run score for the Milkmen in this game. So it was a really good team effort, and they took advantage of the one big mistake by Milwaukee that got Zane Spinn over to third. Josh Allen punched him in, and at the end of the day, that was the run that decided this.
Offensively, it didn't take much for the Cougars. Both runs coming in that top of the 5th inning. You mentioned the one there, Josh Allen coming up with the huge single that scored Zane Spinn. And before that, the solo homer for Claudio Final, a big game for him. Really nice play at third. He robbed Joe Gray of extra bases. But the Cougars, they know how to win these type of games late in the postseason. This year they had a losing record in 1-run games, but we saw this last year in 2024, and this game felt a lot like last year's Miles Wolf Cup final and championship run.
Yeah, I mean, this is exactly how they did it, and I mean, 7 strikeouts at the end. I still just can't believe that, but that's unreal. But the question is, I mean, they knew this is the kind of game that could happen with Connor Ash, but there's 2 more games potentially in this series. Does the rest of the pitching come up? And at some point, the offense is probably going to have to take a step forward too. But this is the momentum you need, and such a pivotal Game 1 for the Cougars to potentially get the job done on Friday, and if not, hopefully back at home on both of those games and get it done on Saturday.
And this is a 4th straight win dating back to the regular season. We said on Monday at the end of that game, it helped last year when the Cougars won their last series of the regular season against Fargo. I think they carried some momentum from that series win over the Chicago Dogs into tonight. And the Cougars playing some really good complementary baseball. The pitching getting it done in a big way as Connor Ash earns his first postseason win in a Cougars uniform. Jake Gozo picks up the save, and Casey Crosby absolutely lights out in an inning and a third, perfect with 4 strikeouts. Gozo fouls him up with a perfect bottom of the 9th, 3 straight strikeouts, 7 straight strikeouts to end the game. That is something Cougars fans won't forget for a long time.
Absolutely not. And they just both had their best stuff going. I mean, we saw several times that the Milkmen had to take a step outside the box and think about what was coming next. And the truth was, it didn't matter what was coming next because Gozo and Crosby were lights out and really shutting the door. And what's great, too, is they didn't eat up a ton of pitches, which means even as early as Friday, we could see them both pitch again.
And you get a day off as well, and that just shows you how important it was. Connor Ash going 6 2/3. You didn't use Logan Nissen. You've got a lot of other pitchers available. We don't know who the starter will be on Friday night. That is still to be announced, but they will take on Jordani Mezquita of the Milwaukee Milkmen Friday night at Northwestern Medicine Field, 6:30. And Colin, I've got a feeling we're going to have a good crowd ready to welcome this team back to their home ballpark.
Yeah, I mean, the truth is, on paper, the hard part is over for the Cougars. You went on the road to Milwaukee. You got the job done. You get 2 chances now back at Northwestern Medicine Field with the Cougar faithful cheering them on to go ahead and clinch this round 1 and get back to a 2nd consecutive East Division final.
You have to imagine the message from George Samus, maybe even walking off the field, is, hey, 2 years ago, we won Game 1 in Milwaukee, lost 2 straight at home. They don't want to see that again this year. I think the message is going to be try to get it done Friday, get this series done in 2. That's what they did last year, just swept their way all the way to a championship. But it's going to be tough. This is a good Milkmen team, as we saw tonight, and they have a really good bullpen as well.
Absolutely, and I think it's really going to come down to the same kind of thing we saw tonight. Who is going to jump in front, and who is going to make the mistakes, and who's going to capitalize on the mistakes? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised Friday comes around and we see another game that's 2-1. It's just going to be a matter of who is the one that's capitalizing at the end of the day. Love to see the Cougar bats start to pick it up a little bit come Friday as well. But clearly this momentum going, like you said, back to that dog series where they won 3 straight, that is a lot of positive momentum in the right direction. Cougars get 2 chances at home. Let's see what happens.
And now 8 straight postseason wins for the Cougars dating back to 2024. This team is clutch, tough as nails. A lot of players back from last year teams, but some new contributors like Casey Crosby, like Connor Ash here tonight, just pitching their best in a clutch moment in a tough spot and leading the Cougars to a Game 1 victory. So that's going to wrap it up here tonight from Franklin Field. For Colin Rudisil, I'm Connor Klingen saying so long, where the Cougars win 2-1. We'll see you Friday night at 6:30 at Northwestern Medicine Field. Make sure to come out to the ballpark. But if you can't join us, tune in on AABaseball.tv. Thanks for tuning in and enjoy the rest of your Wednesday.